Hello, I'm Jacob, and this is my 2025 state titles race recap. Just to reflect a bit, it was my best race weekend. Qualified second, which was amazing. It's my first time starting on the front row, and yeah, I was very very happy. And starting the heats that high up is was fun. And yeah, very very proud of myself because I got some new personal best laps, and I was keeping up with the front runners. So yeah, very good start to the day, but it was just very very unfortunate what happened in the end. But we'll get into that. So yeah, let's start with heat one and walk you through the day. Alright, so by now we've just finished our warm-up lap and time to get alongside them, slow down to yellow flag speeds and work our way up to the line. By this point I'm just full on focusing on staying alongside him at the start. It was an amazing feeling being this high up into the grid, and honestly I didn't really know what to do. I was just going to let my instincts, see what happens. I just knew I had to stay behind him. If I was in front of him by the green lights went, it would have been a penalty. So here I'm just maintaining my speed, making sure I'm a little bit behind him. And here we go. And we just foot to the floor. Now, I just want to stop it here. I already knew that the guy in P3, Joseph here, was going to overtake me in the first turn, because starting P2 or starting on the outside on this track is really really difficult to get your race starts. Pretty much almost every time, unless the guy in P2, which was me, stays fully alongside P1, you might be able to cut across behind P1, but in most cases P3 is just going to stay on the bumper of P1 and you're going to have to settle in behind them. So I let that happen, and I already knew that before the race started, so my goal now was just to keep pace with the leaders and hopefully we can create a gap from the guys behind us. And as you can see here, I'm staying, in the first couple laps of this race, I'm staying pretty close to Joe in front of me, and I'm actually catching up to him on the straights. I think he was struggling a bit with tyre temperatures at the start here, and for me I was already in that good window, so I was able to stay up close with him for the first laps of this race. And it was around here where I made my first couple of mistakes of the race, and that's pretty much what got me out of contention for P2. This corner here, get a bit of oversteer, and I ruined my run coming into the chicane here, and I get a pretty bad exit. As you can see here, my steering wheel is pointing left, and we're meant to be going straight and right. Got a lot of oversteer on the exit of that, and look how far he's gotten. He's, in the span of just a couple corners, he's already gained a couple tenths on me, and all of a sudden I've dropped out of Joe's slipstream now, and I can't really keep with him, and he's just going to go on with Michael in P1, stay in his slipstream, and the race is pretty much going to end like this, and he's just going to keep gaining and gaining. And you can see just a couple laps later, we've all settled into our pace now. We're all pretty much same distance away from each other, and we're just going to the end of the race now. Unless someone in front of us makes a pretty big mistake, yeah, there's nothing really much to gain. And yeah, that was heat one. My hand in the air, a little bit of a celebration there. My very first P3 ever. I know it was just a heat, but it felt pretty good. I was really looking forward to the rest of the day now, and I was very very proud of myself for maintaining yeah, that third podium spot for now. Yeah, so good race overall, and now we're moving on to heat two, which was the part of the day where things began to go a little downhill. Made a bit of stupid decisions, which I'll now learn not to do for next time. But yeah, look, it's all a learning experience. That's why I'm making these videos. So for me, and if anyone watching can learn. But yeah, still did alright in heat two, and yeah, let's walk you through it. So yeah, for heat 2 we're starting the same positions as we qualified, so obviously starting second again, and this time I definitely wanted to try and get a better start and see if I can cut across to stay in P2, but again, it is really difficult. Bit of a false start here. I don't know if that was due to me or if there was just someone out of order behind, but put our hands up, we see the flashing lights ahead of us are still flashing, so the lights never went green. And yeah, time to do another lap. Alright, take two, here we go. Foot to the floor again, but again, it's P3, gets a bit ahead and I have to settle in behind again. Exact same situation as last race. So my goal now is once again, stay in their slipstream and keep ahead of them, or keep up with them. Yeah, and almost exactly like last race, I'm keeping up with Joe in P2, and he's actually dropping back a little bit from Michael in P1. So I knew that I did have the pace, but we'll just see what how the tyres behave as the race goes on. Now fast forwarding around like 6 or 7 laps here, I'm still keeping up with Joe, and it looks like Michael ahead he's got a lot of pace. He had a lot of pace all weekend, and he's just pulled ahead. But yeah, I'm still keeping in the slipstream of Joe ahead of me and just keeping behind him. But I still can't really find that opportunity to overtake, so I'm just going to stay here because there is someone behind me in P4 who is right on my ass. And yeah, so I just need to make sure we don't let him by, but then again, to stay with Joe ahead. You can see he's looking back just to check where I'm at. And yeah, getting closer. Now, I do just want to pause here. So, looking back on the weekend, this is the moment here that I dwelled on the most and what I regretted the most. So, I did just say there was someone behind me, so I need to make sure I don't make any mistakes to let him through. And I do that, which is really annoying. And I let the guy behind me get P3. And by doing that, he was able to start P3 for the next 2 heats, and I was down in P4. So from starting P2, I dropped down to P4, and you'll see why just in a sec. So it was the last lap of the race, and I knew that I had the pace to match, to keep up with Joe ahead of me. So I go for a dive bomb into turn 2, and he obviously cuts me off because I definitely was not alongside, and he had every right to do so. And by doing that, I had to lock up a little bit. I saw him coming across. I knew I wasn't going to make that bloody corner. So I lock up a bit, and here's what happens. The guy in P4 behind me capitalizes on my poor run down into turn 5, and he gets ahead of me because I lost all my momentum in that corner. And as you can see, I was trying to bump him out the way. I knew I was fast. I definitely was faster than him, but this track is tricky to overtake on, and he managed to finish the race in P3 here. Really gutting. As you can see, I'm still trying to make a move, but it just wasn't it. And as you can see, I'm a little bit frustrated. He gives me a thumbs up. Yeah, not my proudest moment. I'm really annoyed because I knew now that that's just ruined my chances of a podium today. Well, that's what I was thinking in my head. And yeah, I was really annoyed about letting myself lose that another P3 there. If I did that in the final and just lost myself a trophy, I would have been so gutted. I was thinking of going up to him and just, congratulating him. Oh, I think I do. Good racing. There we go. Good sportsmanship. Yeah, just talking to them about the incident now. I was pretty annoyed, but you know, it's all good fun in the end. And yeah, so time to evaluate for Heat 3. I did start in P4 now because the guy in blue ahead of me, number 21, will start it in P3. So again, he'll be the one going up the inside. And now I'm going to have to watch for P5 on the inside, which was really annoying. And you'll be able to see exactly what happens. And here you go, starting P4 now after the first two heat races. So we got Joe ahead of me, and the guy in P that got P3, number 21, is now starting in P3. Joe gets a bit of a bad run, and like I said, the guy in P5 gets ahead of me, as usual, when you're starting on the outside. Joe and number 21 here have a bit of a tussle. It sends him off the track, and that causes, well, me to go up to P4. And now skipping ahead to later in the race, as you can tell, I'm dropping back a bit. And it was at this time now, the track was getting really hot, engine temperatures were rising, and there was a guy right behind me giving me bumps up and down every single straight. So by this time of the race, I really had to play it defensive because I wanted to keep this 4th position, and it was a pretty good battle for the last couple laps. Yeah, so this was the last lap of the race, and as you can see, because I've been driving so defensively, because there was a guy right behind me, apparently I was holding up a large pack of cars behind me, but I didn't really care, I just wanted to keep my 4th position. So yeah, played really defensively this race, and as you can see, come out to the final corner, I keep it really right on the inside to make sure he can't sneak up through there, and we crossed the line in P4 again. So yeah, it was about this time where I should have realised that I was losing pace, and I give the guy behind me a bit of a wave because, you know, it's not a pretty way to race, but hey, like, we played defensive and he couldn't get past me, so I should be proud of that. And yeah, the guy in red ahead of me was the person behind me trying to get through, so big respect to him. And I go up and I apologise to him. I'm like, hey, good racing, and he said he really enjoyed that battle, so yeah, huge respect to him. And we kept the P4 again, and now we're moving on to the final race. And now it's time for the final race, which is pretty much where everything went wrong. Look, it was just a really unfortunate and unlucky race, and like I just said, the track was very warm now, and the track changed a lot, and I didn't do anything about that, which is what I need to learn for next time. We should have, I'll explain after, but we should have adapted to the changing temperatures. I was really fast when in the cooler morning conditions, and the track gripped up a lot, and I basically had too much grip throughout the whole race, and that caused a lot of pain, as you will see shortly. And yeah. So we are once again on the outside, which has been unlucky all day because you really do want to start on the inside, like I've been saying for the whole video, but the first start here, we had to redo it, so let's go around again. Alright, take 2. So yep, foot to the floor now, and the green light goes early, so I pull along the inside, and you can see P5 is trying to sneak his nose up there, which he does get the inside for this corner here, but I have a better run, and it's side by side going into this chicane here, and I actually end up in front of him. So I managed to defend that attack from P5, and I stay on the inside just to make sure he doesn't sneak up there. But by doing so, that has really set me back down the order. Now P1, 2 and 3 are all up there, and now it's just me defending against P5, and it all goes down from here. So yeah, P5 is right alongside me. Just saw his nose right there, but I managed to hold that one off, and my focus right now is just to get into the rhythm and catch up to the top 3 battling, because when you battle in go-karts, it slows you guys down a lot, so I just need to hope they keep battling each other. And you can really see how close the field is behind me now, because as I break into the carousel here, you can see Antoine's nose just on the left there. I managed to have more speed and keep my position, but he is right behind me, and a lot of cars are looking to grab the positions of us battling. So it's into this turn here. I brake late and do my usual line, but you can see I'm really fighting with the steering wheel here, and I have such a low speed coming out of that corner that you can see he does sneak his nose up the inside. We touch wheels a bit, that ruins my run, and number 15 comes ahead, we bang wheels as well, and I've just lost 2 positions in one corner. Now skipping forward a couple laps here, it's actually the number 15 in front of me. He actually has an engine issue and he's putting up his hand looking behind him, but he's still going really defensive. So something's happened with his engine and he's desperately trying to fix it on the track. And yeah, that causes me and a lot of guys behind us just to really stay on the back of him. And I knew that I had to get this overtake done if I wanted any chance of going up ahead. But I just couldn't get past him. You can see he's still going defensive. I'm trying to go around the inside down the carousel, but the braking zone just came too quickly, and that just causes number 47 to sneak by through as I was trying to get through. That's another position lost. And again, skipping forward a few more laps here, it's still us 3 battling, and you can see how hard number 15 is defending despite his engine issue, but we just cannot get around him. This track is really difficult to overtake, and yeah, we're just trying to get around him. I think that he goes, number 47 goes for the dive here, and out of nowhere, number 78 comes around the inside and bumps me out the way, and that's another position lost for me. It's really not looking good after doing so well in the morning. And look at this is the most action we've seen all day. All 4 of us trying to fight a position. The red guy in front got ahead of number 15 with the engine issue, but the guy in front of me that just overtook me at the carousel got a really bad run, and I actually made an overtake here down into turn 5. But it's not going to last long. Not at all. You can just see how much I'm gaining on the straight on the number 15, and again down the inside on the left. 78 goes through and number 50 follows through. We're tussling, and he just gets ahead of me. I really was not having it, and I really, maybe a bit of a dirty move from me, but trying to turn into him. But look, I've lost my head at this point, and I've just really thrown away the day, and that ruins my run going into turn 1. Locking up, number 7 gets ahead of me, and now I have a really bad run going into turn 5 and the next chicane afterwards. And that's another overtake by 27. I try to sneak up on the inside, but he has the inside line there. We tussle wheels, I lose control, and 51 goes ahead of me.
Unbelievable! McQueen is fading! McQueen is fading!
Hand in the air, like I'm acting like it wasn't my fault, but look, I was driving pretty poorly up until now, and look at all those cuts that I've just let through. Really not looking good, man. And here's the sad trundle down to pit lane. After doing so well all day, and in the final where it mattered, I just threw it all away. My car was definitely not in the right window, and I just sit there for a little while just processing what the hell just happened. I could have got on a podium today, my very first podium finish, and damn. Lewis Hamilton, 21 after Abu Dhabi, that's how it felt, man. Just sitting in the car after all that, and yeah, wasn't my best moment, and really disappointing end to the day. Well, that was it. Finished in P11 after qualifying P2 at the start of the day. Really disappointing result, but I think I did learn a lot. And before I do finish the video, I do want to compare my Heat 1 race, a lap of my Heat 1 race compared to a lap of my final race, and I want to see the differences and what can we do to change that and help it for the future. For the future. So here we are. This is our, I think it's one of the last final laps of the Heat 1 race. And firstly, I just want to look at my steering wheel input. So as you can see, coming into turn 1 here. Sorry, I meant turn 2. As you can see here, my steering wheel was completely straight, and that allowed me to get a really good run into turn 5 coming up here. And comparing that to the final race, I struggled a lot with understeer, so I've missed the apex here, and I'm still turning the steering wheel left this far into the corner, and that pretty much gives me a bad run going up to turn 5 here. Looking at heat 1 here, look at the steering input I put in to turn 5. I just do a little flick of the left-hander, and then I straighten out the wheel and let the rear settle. This is called neutral steering, and so the steering wheel is straight, but I'm still making that rotation. Let's compare that to the final. So I put my left hand down as usual at the same speed and at the same time as I did in heat 1, but you can see how much I'm struggling that wheel, and I keep the wheel turned to the left for a much longer time because there is a lot of understeer. So let's compare the two side by side, starting at this red line here. The top one is the heat 1. I get to the apex first, and as you can see, I reach this black line first as well. And I'm pointing the kart, opening up the corner to get ready for the next right-hander, whereas I'm still lagging behind in the final race, which is on the bottom, and I still need to get that steering wheel turned to the left to set it up for the right-hander. Next, I also want to compare the sound of the engine coming out of these next couple low speed corners. So first up, we got flip-flop here. And now I want you to listen to how long it takes for the engine to rev up in the final race here coming out of flip-flop. And it's especially more noticeable coming out of the carousel here. Yeah, you could really tell it took a long time for the engine to actually start building revs again. You can just hear the revs just stay still for a moment, and then it begins to gradually get higher, whereas in heat 1 it was a gradual increase. So, what did we learn? The track gripped up so much by the end of the day. We started out in cool conditions when I was the fastest, and then the track got hotter and hotter, tyres got hotter and hotter. We dropped pressures, but that's pretty much all we did. We didn't really do anything to combat the grip change. As you can see in the carousel and the final, the engine took a long time to build up the revs because there was so much grip in the kart. I wasn't able to get power into the rear wheels to push it forward. So what do we do about that? So after speaking with the team, we're going to try test out a softer rear axle in these hot conditions. With a softer axle, we can get more lift out of the inside wheel of the kart, because when you turn a go-kart, the inside rear wheel lifts. And with a harder axle, it makes the rear more stable, which is what I needed at the start of the day. But as the track gets hotter, you need some more flexibility at the rear, so the kart can actually feel a bit lighter and go quicker. You need less grip at the rear, so the engine can actually put the power into the wheels and make them rotate faster. We believe that is the issue. Next test day, next practice day, when we have really hot and grippy conditions, we're going to put on the soft rear axle and see if we can make a difference. Because the poor low end speed wasn't a result of jetting or a sprocket, which it could be, but instead of going straight to engine, we should look at the actual kart setup and see what can we do there. So that's what we're going to test, that's what we're going to learn. This is why I'm making this video, so I can learn what to do for next time, and we cannot make the same mistakes as we did last time. So just to recap, was an amazing weekend. First time starting on the front row, and just did really well all weekend. I felt quick, I was quick. I just made a few silly mistakes, made some poor choices, and didn't really capitalize on my opponent's mistakes as well. And in the future, when it's a hot day, we can put on a softer rear axle and see if that helps. And all in all, great weekend at the New South Wales State Titles held by Sydney Royal Kart Club. Thanks for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe and all that stuff. And yeah, so yeah.